Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I am Sir Conservatarian, and today's video, what's that? Oh, hell no.
Oh hey, it worked.
You again? What did I tell you about warning me?
You said you wanted a warning before I summoned you, right?
Most people would think of verbally warning others, you inbreed.
Close enough.
If I weren't a skull and I had a body, I swear to God I would eat you.
Weebs. Oh, hey, hi. How's it going, everybody?
What? How did you get in here? This is a pocket dimension.
I have my ways. Don't worry about it.
So let me guess. You have another self-aggrandizing social justice warrior who needs a talking down?
Yes. This time we're going big game hunting. Have you heard of ReviewTechUSA?
I've heard of him. He's boring.
Oh no. ReviewTechUSA. Forgive me, but this is tough love.
Turns out he's a moron on net neutrality and his new intro sucks. So let's take him down.
Sounds like a good afternoon.
Fine. I'm Sir Conservatarian.
Hey, everybody, it's your favorite voluntarist consumer here.
Oh hi, I'm the heretic.
Isn't it interesting how people who say they are rational or skeptic are usually the first people to bend over backwards for net neutrality?
They're as critical as they can be against every religion there is, except statism. Statism is inviolable.
ReviewTechUSA whores out for views using some Twitter drama between Ajit Pai and Mark Hamill, along with some other blind partisan nonsense.
3, 2, 1. Turn it up and hit it!
Skip it up and that up. So as we know, on December 14th, the FCC decided in a vote to repeal net neutrality. It was a 3-2 vote, and it was spearheaded by the chairman of the FCC, Ajit Pai.
This is a good thing. If governments decided how ISPs treated data packets, they could basically own the internet.
The war on drugs, the war on terrorism, the war on poverty. You think a government that's too incompetent to build a website with a $2 billion budget, no less, not controlling the internet would be a good thing.
Well, if you remember, I made a video a couple days back about a video that Ajit Pai was in on the Daily Caller, where he was saying, don't worry, when, net neutrality is repealed, you'll still be able to gram your food and do the Harlem Shake and take pictures with puppies. And it was a ridiculously bad video. It got downvoted to death.
I mean, yes, it was cringy, but the point is that the internet is going to remain the same.
Safe to say, if Ajit Pai's video proved anything, it proved he's a really massive fanboy, but liberty-minded, I suppose.
And that there's racial diversity among liberty lovers. Yay!
And it was him basically spitting in the face of the American people. Over 83% of Americans wanted net neutrality kept in place, and he didn't care, and he was showing you in a video that he really didn't care. He's like, you're still going to be able to do all the same crap. Shut up, you peons. I got what I wanted, and I don't care about you. That's what I took away from that video.
I'm pretty sure this is a logical fallacy.
Yeah, the appeal to the crowd fallacy. Just because it's popular doesn't mean it's correct. The same fallacy democracy is built on, basically.
83% of the American people supporting something does not mean it's correct. If you weren't so close-minded, and if you really cared about what the people think, then why would you give the government the ability to control the internet?
Yeah, why would you? I mean, these alphabet soup agencies are as undemocratic as it gets.
Just more hands and weapons for the state to wield against us.
The very instant democracy doesn't go their way, BAM! Russian collusion.
Well, Mark Hamill of Star Wars fame didn't like that video that Ajit Pai did either on the Daily Caller, and he actually called him out in a tweet on Twitter.
He called him out in a tweet on Twitter. A tweet on Twitter. As if that's something that is to be so damning or ballsy to do.
And this is what he had to say. Cute video, Ajit, aren't I, precious Pai? But you are profoundly unworthy to wield a lightsaber. A Jedi acts selflessly for the common man, not lie to enrich giant corporations. By the way, did you pay John Williams his royalty? At Ajit Pai FCC corporate shill, #a Jedi you are not.
Giant corporations like Disney?
I'm sure Ajit Pai had some kind of response to this.
Now, Ted Cruz saw this tweet by Mark Hamill on Twitter, and because he is a glutton for punishment and also an idiot, he replied back to Mark Hamill, and this is what he had to say. Luke, I know Hollywood can be confusing, but it was Vader who supported government power over everything said and done on the internet.
Oh, don't worry. The lunacy goes even further beyond.
That's why giant corporations, Google, Facebook, and Netflix supported the FCC power grab of net neutrality. Reject the dark side. Free the net.
Ted Cruz has a nice sense of humor, and for that, I find him to be bae.
Yeah, I mean, he gets it. Net neutrality is a power grab by big ISP corporations to use the power and violence of the state to squeeze out competition.
I love how, especially conservatives, when it comes to being pro-corporate, they're all about deregulation and they want the government out of people's lives if it benefits corporations. But if it doesn't benefit corporations, they want more regulation.
Please don't make me defend conservatives. Conservatives are statists.
Conservatives only want deregulation when it benefits corporations? Citation needed. Also, you do realize there's more than just conservatives who want deregulation. You have minarchists, anarchists, and other libertarians who want this.
I'm sure it has something to do with how conservatives are against abortion and gay marriage and other such things tentatively connected to the economy at best.
It happens time and time again, and it's disgusting. And I cannot believe people are stupid enough to believe assholes like Ted Cruz. But Mark Hamill responded to Ted Cruz, and what he said back to him was brilliant.
Great. Let's see it. I'm sure it's wonderful.
This is what Mark Hamill replied back with on Twitter to Ted Cruz.
Just tell us already. We don't have all day. Come on.
Thanks for smarm-spaining it to me, Ted Cruz. I know politics can be confusing, but you'd have more credibility if you spelled my name correctly. I mean, it's right there in front of you. Maybe you're just distracted from watching porn at the office again.
You know what I didn't see in that tweet?
Something relevant to the debate at hand or an argument?
I mean, the basis of Socrates and Aristotle's philosophical and argumentative ethic was built on the foundation of accusing people who disagreed with them of meaningless insults.
Now, if you don't know, he's referring to that Ted Cruz actually liked a tweet one time that had porn in it on Twitter. I made a video about it. I'll actually have a link at the end of this video that you could click on to check it out if you want to.
You do realize that chances are it was a Ted Cruz employee who did that and not him?
But anyway, let's get serious again. I absolutely love that these far-right or right-wing buffoons, I don't want to call them far-right, that would be an overstatement.
Oh, you don't want to call us far-right? I, for one, feel so flattered.
The political spectrum is worthless. What does right-wing or far-right even mean? It's just a pejorative to marginalize people who are less enthusiastic about totalitarianism than Chairman Mao.
Like Milo Yiannopoulos and Ben Shapiro are all coming out in their condescending ways and saying, oh, net neutrality is bogus and it's garbage and it's window dressing and there's no net neutrality really to begin with.
Oh, you don't like us being condescending. I'm so sorry. I guess idiots like you think that we can solve every problem by giving control of it to the government and censoring alternatives so they don't have to do hard work of figuring out a solution for themselves, even to solve problems that don't even exist. Economically literate people like us at least know that the government is the problem.
Which, there's somewhat of an argument there. I'm sure there's things that go on behind the scenes at ISPs that we don't know about where they're redirecting where we go to a degree. But now, Milo especially, it's open season. They don't have to hide that they're doing that anymore.
I hate saying the same thing over and over again, but please, citation needed. I mean, if they're doing it openly, then name me at least one example. Don't worry, I'll be waiting right here for ya.
Yeah, it's no big deal. And if you're aggravated at your ISP, just go to another one. That's all you have to do. If you don't like Verizon, just go to Comcast. If you don't like Comcast, just go to AT&T.
That's not an option for reasons that I'm sure you're so well educated and informed about.
Milo, you dumbass. You do realize that in certain regions of the United States, at best, you may have two options for internet, a duopoly. So if you have AT&T and you can't stand them and they're throttling websites that you like to go to, guess what? You only have one other option. You may only have Verizon. And if Verizon's doing the same thing, you either have to move or you're out of luck.
No ISP is throttling websites. That's an absolutely ludicrous analogy, and it's disingenuous to just throw it out there as though it were true. Once again, net neutrality is trying to solve a problem that didn't exist.
The bit about regional duopolies is completely true, but guess why?
Local governments force ISP startups to jump through hoops, buying licenses, paying fees, getting approval, while also needing to rent space in utility vents and poles to be able to lay down a cable, throttling competition and raising barriers to entry.
Wow, that didn't sound like the problem net neutrality was going to solve at all.
It's almost like government is the problem?
Come on, this ain't hard, people.
So all these right-wing know-it-alls, and yeah, I'm doing the partisan politics thing now because 99% of the people that are like all pro repealing net neutrality are right-wing.
The political spectrum is worthless.
I got a question for you. If you're so confident that repealing net neutrality is a good thing, why don't you go up against the founding father of the internet, Vint Cerf, and have a debate with him? He's pro-net neutrality. He thinks it's a really bad thing that it was repealed.
You are committing the great sin of the appeal to the authority fallacy. Shame. Just shame on you, Rich.
Look how smug he is at mentioning Mr. Cerf. Oh, he's got us now. We'll never recover from having a so-called expert disagree with us.
He, of all people, should know that the internet did not begin on June in 2015 when net neutrality rules came into effect, right? And to those of you who are going to say, oh, well, net neutrality was technically created in 1994, shut up. You're moving the goalposts. We're talking about Title II net neutrality. We're not talking about any laws or regulations passed in 1994. Okay? Okay.
Why don't you have a debate with him, know-it-all? See how you do. These right-wing morons that think they know more than the founding father of the internet is the equivalent of me going on WebMD and saying that I have more medical knowledge than a doctor because I went to a website for 20 minutes. Shut up. I can't stand.
You know what? Why doesn't Milo, Ajit Pai, or hell, even I, why don't we have a debate with Vint Cerf? I could take him.
Screw it, I'm in.
And the thing is, you hear Milo, it's always the right-wing buzzwords like George Soros and all this crap. This should not be a partisan politic issue.
He is right, you know. Giving government control and oversight over the internet should be absolutely terrifying to everyone, regardless of politics. One need not look no further than what's happening in Germany or the UK, where they'll throw you in jail for wrong thing, which is exactly like 1984. Funny how people who say that repealing net neutrality would lead to a world like that of 1984.
Okay? I don't care if you are a Republican or Democrat. The fact that net neutrality was officially repealed. I'm not saying there wasn't going on behind the scenes where you had ISPs redirecting your traffic and still throttling people and just not talking about it.
So far, no examples of throttling have been provided. Net neutrality is trying to solve a problem that didn't exist.
Plus, if you force ISPs to treat all data equally, then throttling will have to take place. All data is not equal. In the giant data packets, what is it like? Netflix is 37% of Comcast web traffic? They'll slow everyone else's surfing down if it's treated the same as message board web traffic. Imagine what would happen to a highway if this giant-ass saw thing was traveling down it.
But now that it's out in the open and it's fair game and they could legally do it, it could be disastrous.
They could have done it in the past 20 plus years of the internet's existence prior to net neutrality's laws taking effect. But they didn't. And they won't. And you're a paranoid idiot for thinking that they will.
It may not be, like I said in my previous video, and net neutrality being repealed may not actually be that big of a deal.
Oh my god, he said it!
But what bothers me again, like I said in my original video, is that virtually all Americans wanted net neutrality, and this son of a bitch, Ajit Pai, spearheaded and rammed through getting it repealed. He didn't give a about the American people. He only cared about his own interest, and it's disgusting.
Huh. It sounds like you're having a problem with the idea that whether or not we have a free and open internet should be up to 3 out of 5 bureaucrats unaccountable to the people. Here's a radical and crazy idea. Maybe the FCC shouldn't have this power in the first place?
Careful there, heretic. That's some dangerous thinking.
And it's nice to see everyone from the small grassroots guy all the way up to big names in Hollywood, like Jimmy Kimmel, giving him shit because he deserves it. And for everyone who's going to cry and say, we want a free and open internet, I'm glad net neutrality is gone. Was the internet not free and open before?
Was the internet not free and open before? Are you seriously going to ask if the internet was not free and open in 2014?
Yes, he is, sadly. He's absolutely delusional at this point.
No, the internet's been perfectly fine. Ajit Pai is a liar and a bullshit artist, and he got rid of net neutrality for his own selfish reasons. And if you don't see that, to be perfectly honest with you, you're an idiot, and you're just blind to the truth.
You still haven't told us what those reasons are, you know? For all you know, he's one of us. The chairman of a federal bureaucracy that could be one of us. I feel dirty.
Rich, I love you, and I've been sub to you for a very long time. But you don't get the right to say that. So far, your arguments for net neutrality are Mark Hamill, Vince Cerf, and right-winged right-wingers of the right-winged right-winged. All that shows is that you know nothing about what you're talking about.
This is Rich of ReviewTechUSA signing out. Have a good one.
Well, this video was enlightening. I used to think ReviewTechUSA was okay, but net neutrality has been a useful barometer for me, showing who's really using their thinkingness and who's replaced their brains with blind faith and statist dogma.
I've lost all respect for Mark Hamill now. Like, the Joker Donald Trump tweet thing, I kind of like that. That was pretty funny because it was a kind of sociopathic sounding tweet. But this is just ridiculous. Mark Hamill has proven himself a complete moron. And at this point, spoiler alert, I'm kind of glad Luke's dead.
Wait, he dies? Wow, thanks for spoiling it for me, you jackass.
Nothing of value was lost. You know what? Screw it. Jeff Bennett is best Joker.
Rich's argument is full of fallacies. Appealing to the crowd, appealing to authority, red herrings. There's so many issues. You'd think it was Detective Comics.
That bit about regional ISP duopolies was definitely a red herring.
All in support of a cause to solve a problem that didn't exist. Well, that was fun.
Yeah, I guess so. Kind of a long one. So, how do I get out of here?
Oh, go forward until you see the silver spire of suffering. Take a left at the altar to the elder gods. Then go underneath the Denny's. You can't miss it.
Oh, a left at the Denny's. Okay, got it.
That wasn't too bad, if I say so myself. Next time, though...
Yeah, no summonings without warnings.
I mean verbal warnings. No lasers, no explosions, or nothing too gimmicky. If you try and pull that sort of stuff on me again, I will find you, and I'll make you want to...
What's that? Oh dear, I couldn't hear you over the sound of my summoning spell expiring. Sorry about that. Be sure to check out Voluntarist Consumers, Sir Conservatarians, and my own channels in the descriptions below. And subscribe if you like what you see. What do you think? Is Mark Hamill ruined for you too? Do you regret watching The Last Jedi? Leave your comments below, and thanks for watching.